Hey there, Tony.
Hello, how are you?
I am doing good. How you doing here?
I
It's December. Can you believe it?
no, I cannot. This year
It
has flown by.
has gone by pretty fast. It sure
Yes.
has. But it's been, I guess overall, it's been a good year. It's nothing really tragic happened this year, like some couple of years in the past with the pandemic and everything. So no tough recession this year. So I guess things are starting to stabilize, and we're going to talk a little bit tonight about economic development and
Mhm.
what kind of took place this year, and kind of what's going to take place hopefully next year. But I don't know. I end the year excited. How about you? You feel pretty good about things?
Yeah, I mean, we saw a lot of change, a lot of growth in Rolesville, a lot of different things happening. So, yeah, I'm excited about what's to come. I'm super excited about talking to our guests tonight just because of them giving us some insight on some things we can look forward to as a
Hmm.
community. So, yeah, but
Yeah,
this
I am.
year has been it's been there's been some challenges and some growth, some loss. But
That,
yeah, it's overall it's been pretty good.
that's right. That's right. We've done these shows a couple of years now, and this end of the year show, um, I guess what I call is having the mover and the shakers of economic development, on the show from town, and these two people that's coming from a town side, um, Sheilah Sutton and Michael McFarland. They are certain, and it used to be Rachel. She was an economic development spokesman for this chamber at the time, and between the three of them, that's what the moving and shaking was going on. And now I hear, the chamber is beginning to get back to kind of where it used to be before Rachel left, and y'all doing a lot of good things over there. You got any updates for us? Anything from that?
So we are making a lot of changes at the chamber. We've had to pivot a little bit and get things moving back in the direction that we wanted to move. Of course, there's some pain sometimes with change, and so we just kind of had to wrap our minds around where we were as a chamber. Rachel was, oh wow, such a phenomenal asset to have, and so when she left, it was like you could see all these great things that she was doing, and trying to find someone to fill her shoes has been difficult. But we have found someone to fill the position that we have recreated. So we did create a new position called Director of Membership Services. And this person will serve as a liaison from the community, the business community, the town, and the chamber. So, not sure if I'm going to share his name yet. Some people may already know. We haven't done a formal announcement yet. But that's one of the things that's changed. But you're going to see a lot of great things coming from the chamber. We're going to make a lot of changes to make sure that we are involved in our business community a little bit more and give some benefits back to the business community as well. So a lot of good things going to come from the chamber. Keep your eyes out.
Yeah, and the chamber does a lot of good things. I can't say enough for the chamber, and really, I would say that the contribution the chamber makes to the town is unmeasurable. And one of the things that the chamber has historically done a fantastic job on is the Christmas parade or the holiday parade, and we
Yes.
just had that this weekend, and another year of success, I think. And I don't know if we know the numbers yet of the turnout,
Mhm.
anything like that. Were you able to attend, Tony? Were you at the Christmas parade?
So unfortunately, this year I was not able to go. I had a lot of things happening personally that I was not able to attend. However, I got a lot of great feedback. A lot of my patients either was involved somehow as volunteers, or either they were in the parade themselves, or they had gone to the parade. So all of the feedback I have gotten was like they were super excited about just the participants. And the other one, the weather,
Hmm.
because it was, they thought it was going to rain. I think it may have sprinkled a little bit, but it wasn't as cold this year as it was last year or some of the past years. Um, but yeah, I got a lot of great feedback and how great of a time they had at the parade. But no, unfortunately, I wasn't there this year.
Yeah, and it turned out really well. I mean, I don't know if it was a single hiccup the whole time. The weather was pretty good. It was a good turnout. I think it was people from the start of the parade to the end on both sides of the
Mhm.
street. It was very very well attended, I think. And I don't know if people really know the logistics that would go behind something like that, the volunteers you have to have, and the number of
Mhm.
people you have to have. And sometimes I just sit back and watch, and you got people running everywhere and doing everything. It's just amazing how well that thing is pulled together, and how it operates, and street closings and all that kind of stuff. It's really amazing. Y'all do a fantastic job. And I'm really proud and glad you guys did it. I think one town canceled theirs this year, and so
Yeah.
towns that don't even do theirs anymore. And you guys, I'm really thankful. Y'all do a great job. Y'all put a lot of effort in that, and really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I
But
think the community appreciates it too,
yeah,
and
well,
that's
I'm gonna
the thing.
I'm gonna shout out Barbara from the chamber. She the Christmas parade. She does a lot, making sure that logistics and things and people are in place.
Mhm.
She's really good at sometimes you being voluntold to do stuff, but she's really good at bringing people in to make sure that some of those uh, all those pieces of the puzzle fall into place. So, we had volunteers in place to run the parade, even making sure that people are on the appropriate floats and the floats are there. So there's a lot of things that go into play, like you said, behind the scenes
Yeah,
to make sure that it goes without a hitch, even the lineup. So it's
yeah.
so much that has to be done.
Yeah, and every once in a while I'll see something that I never seen in the parade before, and I said, "Wow, I don't know if I see that." And this year, it was actually a lady out there riding a cow in the parade,
Really?
riding a cow, with a saddle and it. I mean, it was with a group of horses, but it was a cow in with the group of horses, and I read somewhere, I don't know, social media somewhere where they said this cow lives with the horses, and the cow doesn't even know it's not a horse. I
Wow.
don't know, but it was a weird looking thing. But it was certainly in the parade though.
Did
You
it
have
have a saddle?
Yes, it had a saddle and
Really?
everything on it. Yeah,
That's
it
pretty
did.
amazing. That's pretty neat. There's a lot of backstory. You can take a lot of good things from that. Like he was with the horses, didn't realize he wasn't a horse. That's pretty.
Yeah, that's really wild. But I don't think I've seen that before. But that was pretty neat, I think.
So now I'm gonna
But
look.
but I know the chamber's got other stuff going on. I mean, you guys have had a lot of activities this year, all throughout the year, and getting down to the end here. It's a lot of things. I think y'all do a lot of things around Christmas. Don't y'all host a Santa Claus thing or something like
Yeah,
that?
so we're gonna talk about that. I got a couple other things that we'll talk about at the end with events. But yes, so actually we do a breakfast with Santa. That's this
Mhm.
Saturday. Coming up from 10 to 11. No, give me 8 to 11. Get the time right. But yeah, so
Right.
breakfast with Santa is this week. And then there's some other things happening around town with the chamber as well as just in the town that we'll talk about um, as well. Yes.
Yeah, and I really appreciate. I know you have done a great job, and appreciate you being part of the show tonight. We do it a little bit different. Our last show of the year is always a little bit different. It doesn't have the two guests normally that we do. It's more like a panel.
Mhm.
So you get to stay on, and then we get to bring our guest on, and it's like a fireside chat we do. So it should be fun.
Mhm.
Um, I would say, Tony, just hang on and jump in whenever you want to. If you would watch and see if there's any comments come in from the public. But I'm ready. If you're ready, let's bring in the guests.
We got it. Here they come. We have Sheilah Sutton, our former Rolesville commissioner, as well as Michael McFarland from the town of Rolesville, who serves as our economic development manager. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. How are
Yeah,
y'all doing?
really good to have you, both of you. I hadn't seen y'all in a long time. Uh, we've
Right.
had meetings all week, but it's really good seeing both of you. And I think most everybody know y'all. Probably a lot of people that's watching online, they know who Sheila is, they know who Michael is. But I do want to give a chance. Maybe it is some new people, and this thing is recorded. people watch this for
Sure.
years and go back and watch it. So just give a quick bio, Sheilah, of you and really, how do you connect with economic development?
Sure.
And
Sure.
I said earlier that you and Michael was a couple of the mover and shakers when it comes to economic development. So maybe kind of explain how that works for us.
Gotcha. I don't know if I'm the mover or the shaker, but I'll go. I'll go. Thank you, Mayor, for having me on, and Tony for co-hosting as well. So Sheilah Sutton. Obviously, I've been a commissioner in Rolesville for the last 8 years, and I just retired, if you will, from the board on Tuesday. But I also am tasked with going forward. I am the president of the board of our newly developed Rolesville Downtown Development Association. So I will talk more about that a little later. But also my day job, I'm also a community impact officer with Coastal Credit Union. So I have several roles that I wear, and how I'm trying to contribute with economic development. I've developed quite a few relationships over the last probably 4 years working with economic development for the town, and want to keep fostering those relationships with our development community, building that rapport, partnering with the chamber to do some things. So a lot more to come. I'm excited. We have an excited board and building subcommittees to get some work done for Rolesville. And our focus really is, a big focus of ours is commercial development. So we'll be helping in that regard. So I'm looking forward to it, partnering with the town, partnering obviously closely with Michael and closely with the chamber. So happy to be here, and I'm sure we'll talk about more.
Yeah. One question for you. I think I've heard you say before, I believe you said it last time you was on this show, that when economic development in Rolesville, that you see what we vision as a place to live and play with a small town feel. How do you do that? How do you put those two things together in your mind?
I think it's being conscious and purposeful. So I think you can grow as a town, but I think it's the little things that you do. I think about like our Main Street Park. You can do things that enhance your town where you do offer things for folks, but you don't lose it and it becomes so commercialized that there's no ma and pops. You want to have a mix of both. And I think one thing that's really going to keep us with that small town feel is the walkable community part. I think that is really crucial. One thing I remember from COVID is I really enjoyed seeing people out walking, and there were a ton of people because you couldn't hardly do anything else, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there were a ton of people walking, and I felt such a sense of community. Like a lot of people I met just walking during that time. So I think us being purposeful about having a walkable community where people can walk downtown and walk down Main Street is going to be huge in building that. So I think that's one way you do it.
Yeah, I think so. I think when we during the heightened of the COVID, I think we had everything closed except for the greenways.
Right.
And I think you're right about that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, welcome, Michael. Good to see you on the show. Maybe you can give us a quick bio of who Michael McFarland is and how do you fit in with economic development in Rolesville?
Sure thing. Thanks for having me. Great to be here tonight. And Michael McFarland. I'm the economic development manager for the town of Rolesville. And my day-to-day activities include, attraction of new businesses, supporting our existing businesses, marketing the town, getting the word out to the larger community about how great Rolesville is, and just kind of overall promoting a good business climate for the town. I've been here now about just up to 5 years now, so I've been enjoying it a lot. And previously, I worked at the North Carolina Department of Commerce for the governor's commission on workforce development. So I was involved with workforce development in my prior role, helping businesses find qualified talent. So, and that's a huge piece of economic development as well. So, my wife and I, we've been here, about 15 years now, in the Rolesville community. So, our kids go to Rolesville schools, and we're enjoying it. So,
Great to have you, Michael. You do a great job. You said 5 years. So my question is, when you think back on the 5 years, is it something in your mind stands out as, wow, that really turned out well? That's really something that makes a big difference. Is anything really one thing that stands out in the last 5 years that you was involved in and help bring across the finish line?
I think as you drive up and down Main Street now, you kind of can see it out there, the physical difference of the initial results of our Main Street project. That's been a big undertaking this last year. And I know residents are sometimes worried about the traffic out there, so bear with us.
Yes.
But I think just you start to see that physical change. And then the development up at the Young and Main Street intersection, you can kind of start to see buildings go up vertical. And so that is something we can talk about on the show later tonight. But I would say that the Main Street project throughout town along Main Street, and also the Cobblestone Village development at Young and Main.
Yeah. So let's jump into the show a little bit. We finishing the year up, finishing 23 up. So, and this is for any of the panelists, Tony, Michael, or Sheilah. When you're thinking back on 23, what is the biggest accomplishment? What sticks out in your minds as the biggest accomplishment in economic development in 23? When we think back on 23, 3 or 4 years from now, what will we think of in 23? Any of y'all can jump in on that one.
I feel like it's a lot of what Michael just highlighted because I'm a plans person. I love to have a plan. And when I think back to my first term on the board and we were talking about things, we want to do this. And we hired our first economic development person before Michael. We hired somebody contract. And we were trying to get things going. And then we finally committed to having a permanent person or full-time person. And I think that was kind of the driver. And all those plans we put in place, it's just nice to actually see brick and mortar moving on Main Street. I think that to me is when I drive down there, I'm just like, I'm almost in awe. You know how you kind of write your vision boards or you write down your dreams and then you see it happening? That's how it feels to drive down Main Street. When I see them clearing for the road on the other side where they're going to move Burlington Mills, we talked about that for a while and now it's actually happening. So when I drive down, I'm just like, wow. And I don't care about the traffic because I'm like stopped and looking like, wow, this is amazing. And I think when you've been a part of the planning and there before it ever was a thing, and you get to see it happen, it's almost like a woman being pregnant and you finally get to see that baby, right? And that's kind of how it feels.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Anything to add, Michael or Tony?
I'd agree. And just I would just add, in our profession, a lot of times you'll hear people say economic development is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Mm-hmm. And so to Sheilah's point about these things take time. And if you see something out there being built right now, chances are there were years of planning and a lot of effort that went into that, speaking and coordinating with the developer in advance to do that. So some of these projects are literally years in the making to get done. So it's nice to start to see stuff take shape.
Yeah.
I think my piece to add is exactly the same things that you guys are saying. I'm going to speak from a different perspective of something that I know that's coming. You may or may not know I'm a member of the Wake County Library Commission, and Rolesville does not have a library currently. However, from being at the table, I know that is coming. And so it's kind of the same things that you guys are mentioning about the work that you see happening now is not the product of the people that you see at the forefront right now. It's really the product of those people that has been working for years on it. That may not even be in those same positions before. So even when the library comes, I really can't be the one who takes full credit for a library coming, because this has been in the making for years prior to me even becoming a representative for our district. So it's good to see, like you said, that baby finally coming to pass. And so I feel pretty honored to be in this position now, to know that I can be the one to say, after all these years of hard work, to say we're getting a library. So it's some of those things. I think that's what's the biggest excitement for me, is this: we can see the product of the labor of some of our former commissioners, former mayors, former board members. Like, we see their hard work and their dedication come to pass. So that kind of can give us a little boost to remember to kind of carry the torch.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. Carry the baton, carry the torch. Actually, I believe, and I don't think people that does, our jobs, like, has been in either staff like Michael or commissioner like Sheilah. I don't think people understand how that works, that a lot of stuff we see is passing the baton to one person to another. And it's not just one person getting in there and they're going to make a big change and they're going to get this done or that done. It's actually trying to keep things
right
moving. And, I know Sheilah's got a lot of things that she has started, and hopefully, we'll keep it going. The baton will be passed, and, keep it going. And I think y'all are right. I was trying to think if I could put my finger on one thing around 2023. It all has to do with Main Street, I think, or most of it has to do with Main Street. If you recall back a year ago in Thanksgiving, the whole Thanksgiving holiday, we were dealing with the stalemate with cobblestone, and we got over that towards the end of the year, where that got off to start in 2023. I think, Michael, last year you announced that Main Street construction would start early 2023, and it did. And, I think the 3-story building,
Yes.
it may have been built, but they did all the ribbon cutting just a few months ago, and all those offices are now are occupied in that building. So yeah, I think 2023 should be remembered as a year that all these things basically came together. Basically, they kind of came together and really became life. So one of the things I'll mention now. We had this art program, and I know some of you guys worked really hard on the art and the murals that was put in, and we did that through economic development somewhat with that in mind. How does art and economic development connect? How do you make that connection? Why is it important for us to do that in town? What does it add?
I'll jump in as the noted creative. I call myself a creative in the business world. I think art, we talked about earlier, that kind of small town, that feeling, that sense of community. I think art is a draw for people. I noticed early on when I moved to Rolesville how people just really migrated to our Main Street park. Like, I would go by and I'm like, oh, someone's getting married. Oh, someone's having a reception in the gazebo. And I think art does the same thing. So much so, I will use one of our neighboring communities, Garner. They have a cafe called Full Bloom Cafe. It's a coffee shop. And so there's a mural that's painted on the side of that building. So now it's become a thing. People go there for prom pictures and everything. So you see this all over Instagram. So that, to me, is a driver to your town. It draws people there. So when people are there, they're going to utilize the shops that are there. They're going to spend money there. They're going to get their gas in town. So I think that's an economic driver because it draws people out. Families come to the park. They will come and see the murals and enjoy the murals. So I think art is definitely a draw. When I think about downtown Raleigh, some of the lights, I used to work down there years ago, and how they put up some of the artwork out there, how they do on the side of Fayetteville Street. And it just draws you at night, and all this color. And they have the trees on the side of the building that move, the leaves kind of twinkle. It just draws people. It creates a sense of place, somewhere exciting. But Instagram and TikTok, that's what you start to see, people posting those things. And so they want to create that fun moment, if you will. So I think that draws people in.
I think art has when you look at art, you have it's energy. So when you look at a piece of art, it pulls you in some fashion. It's depending on where you are and what's your station right now in life. So you look at, like, for example, the piece that is actually on the town of Rolesville's building.
Yes.
It's pretty, if you think about the energy that it gives you, it's kind of a more relaxed, kind of calm when you see it with the mauves and the dark colors. It's a relaxing piece. And it's funny that that one is there because you have that little the little charging station right there. And so I can imagine you're sitting at the charging station looking at this piece, and it's kind of almost meditative. And so it kind of, okay, well, when I want to charge my car, I'm probably going to go here because it makes me feel a little more comfortable. And I think those things, when you're thinking of a place to live or a place to do business, when you can have these pieces of work that project a specific type of energy, then you kind of look for those pieces for whatever reason, whatever station that you are. So even like the one that's on Young Street with the oranges and the reds, and that's a more vibrant, a more happier place. It's closer to the park. So I think, and even the airplanes, that one that's at the park. So a lot of the ones that are placed in certain, it brings different energy. So I think it attracts people for different reasons. So that's what I think, and I like about art in general anyway.
I agree with that, Tony.
Yeah, I agree as well. I think it just brings character to a community, and you see public art and you say, well, it's attractive, and it's a place where somebody wants to go. And then back to the economic development, Ty, if you're a business and customers are here because they know that Rolesville cares about its community, then that's more customers that are here for the businesses. Everybody wants to be at a place that is being taken care of and just has character and something unique, and it's also just it's tidy, and it's a beautification effort as well. So it makes town look nice. So
yeah.
I think so. I think so, and really it makes it look unique. There's no other. It's not something that you see in other places. I imagine every town has their own unique art and things like that. And another thing I found out about, when I looked at the pictures, I wasn't overly impressed with them, to tell the truth about it. But you got to see it to really appreciate it. It's one of them things you can't look at a picture and really appreciate it. You got to have it, up on the wall. You got to have it in full size. You got to have all those things play into it. And a picture, doing it on a picture just doesn't do it justice, I don't think. Go ahead and take a picture of it now. I don't think it does justice of actually seeing it in person. And really, really a good job. I think it turned out to be really great. But I guess the question is this the end? Is this it? This all?
I hope not.
Yeah.
I think that there's a committee that was assembled to oversee this last project here, and we always thought of it as something that would be the beginning of more. So this particular project with the 3 murals, we were able to collaborate with the United Arts Council of Wake County, and also a local broadband internet provider, Ting, pitched in to help with this project. So, but yeah, now we can continue to look for more canvases, and as Rolesville continues to develop up and down Main Street, I think we could even think about not only murals, but sculptures and just different things like that. So, and especially at the new town hall campus where the library, that might be a great place to have some public art pieces.
Exactly.
How did we choose on what was going to be placed where, or what the designs were? Did we leave it up to the artist to design, or was there
there were about over 30 artists that applied for this project, and a committee was assembled of residents, and they chose a local artist from Durham, and he came to Rolesville and visited and conducted interviews a few times, walked up and down Rolesville, up and down Main Street with the committee, and he put out a survey online so people could weigh in, and that happened this past summer for a few months. So he was able to gather some major themes and concepts from the community, and then the committee kind of just let him run with that and incorporate that in his art. So you kind of see him highlighting the nature of Rolesville with the plants, and some history in there, and things like that. As well as, looking towards the future with, the airplanes and the children at the park. So, so pretty in-depth process to get to those designs. But
Yeah, it's really going to be amazing, I think, once everything comes together on Main Street. If I recall, there's some plantings that we did with some greenery we put in Main Street and some extra things, like that. So, and then the art and maybe some more murals and, like you said, some sculptures or some, some other things that maybe we can really jazz it up a little bit and make it I don't know if we would ever be a place like a tourist destination like you see, if you ever go down Main Street, Gatlinburg, Tennessee or something, every building is pretty much ornamental in a way. And but I think we can come up with a really nice Main Street. Is that kind of what you guys kind of think we envision in there, or something close to that?
I think so. I also think even our wayfinding signage, since we added that, the blue and the green, and we have our logo, it just sends a message of care for your community, and it just draws your attention. I love when I drive and I see the green signs and I see the Rolesville Park signs. I'm like, to me, it does create a sense of place, and it's just that little additive. And I also I know Cobblestone has created, they have a piece of granite sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
So the developers are trying to incorporate, if you will, almost like artistic pieces that are representative of Rolesville having a lot of granite.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's kind of neat too, to see those things, kind of natural art develop as well. But yeah, I do think we're going to see more of it, and it'll evolve. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Great. Sounds good. I guess thinking of Main Street, we've been focusing on that a little bit, but that's really, I think, for this year, if we got to say for this year, that's really the turning point of economic development for Rolesville is the Main Street. So do you guys feel like, since we started in January, do you feel comfortable with the progress we made, the construction going on? I guess, Michael, maybe you can start this one off. The progress and kind of way things are turning out. Is it kind of turning out like we kind of envisioned? Is everything going towards to plan?
Yeah, I think so. And I think, Tony, we might have some pictures we could pull up too of where Burlington Mills Road is. We set up a website too for people to go learn more about the project. It's RolesvilleMainStreetProject.com, and here you can kind of see some of the construction near Burlington Mills Road. And as far as what I'm hearing right now, everything's on schedule, because I think we really didn't have that much rain this past year. We were almost kind of in a drought to some extent. So bad for the crops, but I get good for if you're out there doing a project in construction, right? So so yeah, things are going good. And for the most part, this past year has been focused on realigning the Burlington Mills Road intersection into Main Street. And what that's going to do is really open up that corridor there to future development. And of course, we have a development with Publix that's going to be arriving there. That's called the Walbrook development. And so, and yeah, there's a futuristic rendering. So the developer of Walbrook has been working with us over the past few years in coordinating efforts. And actually, we have a pre-construction meeting scheduled with their team next week to talk about they want to start clearing ground to make way for that Publix here soon. So I think by the end of the year almost.
One of the things I get asked, Michael, about Publix is it just going to be a grocery store there? And my answer is no. But what can you tell the public that it will be there other than a grocery store?
Yeah, I mean, if people can envision the Publix that's over there in Heritage and Wake Forest, and you know how you can kind of see, Chick-fil-A's there in the parking lot to the side. There's Heritage Donuts. I think a Jersey Mike's is on its way over there. And then even to the other side, you have Rudino's and some other places. So it's very similar to that. The grocery store, the Publix will be the anchor, but all around it, you'll have different retail shops and restaurants. Just in my last conversations with the real estate brokers that's representing this property, they say things are looking great. They're getting a lot of calls and a lot of interest. I think everybody's just really, excited about coming to Rolesville and especially because we did invest money and we're doing this Main Street project to improve the infrastructure out there. So that's really attracting these businesses. We have 7-Eleven looking to go in as part of this development, a convenience store. I think there's been mention of like a tavern or a tap room, and then a coffee shop and things like that. So definitely more. And of course, the development includes about 140 townhomes that'll kind of be back in there too. So all in all, it's a development of 265,000 square feet of commercial space. So this is a big one for Rolesville.
You said 265,000.
Yeah,
that's more than I had remembered. But I guess that's on both sides of the road and everything.
Right, both sides of the road. That includes they're trying to attract a medical provider. So I think one of the things they want to build is a medical facility with some specialist services. So I think Tony's excited about that. So,
Sheilah, when we think about Walbrook, what does come to your mind when you think about Walbrook?
Walbrook. I think about the first meeting I had with Austin almost 5 years ago, 2019. Is that 5 years ago? 4 years ago? 5 years ago. It'll be 5 years in February.
Yeah.
And I think about a conversation we had at Starbucks in Wake Forest. And I said, we need another grocery store. I remember saying that. And my first thing was, can you get a Trader Joe's? Do you have a relationship with Trader Joe's or Whole Foods? And he said, I have a relationship with Publix and Harris Teeter. And I said, well, we will take what you can bring us. And I just remember him being so excited about doing this project in Rolesville. And I think back to that, and I think about how important it is just to have those relationships, because you don't know who knows who. Mm-hmm. So I think for us going forward, it's all about building relationships in Rolesville, in and around Rolesville. So I'm excited about Walbrook. I'm excited because I'm going to be able to walk from my house. I think it's going to be 2 miles. So I can get my exercise in, go get my groceries, whatever. I don't drink coffee anymore as much, but get something to drink. Just nice. So I think it's going to be nice once it all comes together. I cannot wait. And one thing I want to say though, because some developers were having some challenges with all of the interest rate changes and funding and so forth. So we're just really fortunate to be in a place where these folks are still able to move forward. Mm-hmm. We're not in their day to day. We don't see them in the trenches and what they're having to deal with. Even the town had to deal with some of that. But it's just nice to see that growth is still happening in our community. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I am too. And Tony, I think from a chamber perspective, you got to get new members out of this place, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So we're definitely excited about the connections that we can make with the new businesses coming in. We've even talked about some strategies that we're going to put in place as they're moving in as new businesses. What can we do to help them come in and get acclimated? And so, yeah, we are excited. Definitely excited.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's good for the whole community, and for sure when you're thinking about that, because really business and business activity draw customers for other business and business activities, and I think all businesses profit when you have a lot of activities in town coming to the grocery store and shopping at, one of the little mom and pop stores after that or something. It just adds just more to economics, I think, when you have the more you have is a more of a draw, more of a destination, makes it a destination place. But I kind of interrupt you there with the Main Street, just on that end. Michael, were you going to talk more about the Main Street other than Walbrook?
Well, if we want to go, so that's kind of the southern end of the project, and the northern end of the project is we're going to really kind of renovate the Young and Main Street intersection. Thank you, Tony. So this is where we have that other development going in, the mixed-use development called Cobblestone Village. That'll be behind the Privet Insurance Building, and then. The Creative Exchange is up there at the other corner. Susanna's Antiques is at one corner. There's a picture of a futuristic rendering of Cobblestone. So what we're really going to do up there at that intersection is kind of just make it safer for pedestrians, repave everything, put in new sidewalk and sort of public realm space all around that intersection. So just making it a more walkable and bikeable area of town. The town is considering putting some public parking up there. We're going to add some on-street parking in front of Cobblestone and in front of Susanna's Antiques there for the customers and for employees of the businesses. So this is really going to create that destination and a place where people are going to want to come. Thinking about Cobblestone, they've already signed on a few restaurants and different retail shops, and it's kind of exciting to learn even some of our own local shops here in Rolesville are going to move up there. One of them, Local Charm, that's on Rogers Road right now, is planning to go up there and move in. And then also our downtown farmers market is planning to open up a place there at Cobblestone. So, but they've mentioned that, they've mentioned sushi, they've mentioned an Indian restaurant, a Mexican restaurant concept, a bakery, like kind of a bakery for dogs, like dog grooming and dog biscuits and stuff. Another gym actually up there, Anytime Fitness has made a commitment. And then an artisan beer and cheese shop. So a mixture of different things. I think a nail salon too, a nail salon and day spa. So a lot of things coming up there. And they're hoping to start opening kind of mid 2024. So next year.
Yeah. Well, Michael, do we know we're going to have a restaurant with cloth napkins and all?
I don't know yet.
Right. I like that idea. Cloth napkins.
Yeah, we need to require one of them.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's coming along. I think, I guess, Sheilah, are you happy with the results you've seen so far? I know a lot of people gets impatient, and we hear a lot of people being impatient, and it does take a while. And but you seen the sauce being made and how you have to make it. Are you happy with the progress? You feel like the progress is, and COVID, you got to go throw COVID in that mix.
Right. We lost some momentum there.
Yeah.
I have been here for 19 years. So when I moved here, there was one stoplight, Food Lion, McDonald's, right? And so having gone through that, been on the board, I am quite pleased with where we are because I do know what it takes to make the sauce, and it doesn't just happen. So I am quite pleased to see what these boards that I have been a part of have been able to drive to bring it to today. Like Tony said earlier, we may be sitting in these seats today, but people long before us were planting seeds and doing things to make this happen. It doesn't just happen overnight. And so sometimes the public can't see that. They just want to see the end result, but we know that we were there. So I'm excited and just thrilled. Like I said, when I drive down Main Street, I'm in awe. I really am. Even when I see, look, this is silly, but this is one thing I see. The meandering sidewalks that we have in front of Heritage East. I remember Mayor Eagles talking about he pushed to have meandering sidewalks. I will never forget that. And when I drive down there, I think of him when I see those meandering sidewalks. So a lot of times people don't see what goes into the sauce, but when you're there and you see it, you just smile and think, wow, it's done.
Yeah, it's a lot of things you see, you think about Frank.
Yep.
You know, like the Christmas parade, Rolesville band was in the front. That was one of the things. That was one of the things he would always get upset with Barbara or Rachel, whatever, if the band won't in the front. He always thought the Rolesville band needed.
You're right.
And they were in the front, so good job there. But before we run out of time, Sheilah, this organization I think is called Rolesville Downtown Development Association.
Yes.
And it's a nonprofit group that now has been established. We've got a board with that. Maybe describe that for the public and kind of some of the purpose and the things you see going to come out of that.
Sure.
And for the public to know, you are the president of that organization.
Yes, sir, I am. So the Rolesville Downtown Development Association was really kind of developed out of a concept that happened, again, long before I came on the scene. There were folks like Ronnie was involved in this, our mayor. He was commissioner at the time, was involved in what was called REDAC. And I can't remember the exact name. I want to say Rolesville Economic Development Action Committee, I believe it was called. Yep. It was back in the day, if you will, probably around the time I moved to Rolesville, when no traction, I guess, was going economically. And you all remember 2000, 2007, 2008, when the economy pretty much crashed. So this group set out to kind of build economic development in Rolesville. So see, they had the foresight long before we did. And so we took that 501c3 and kind of morphed it into this, which is now called the Rolesville Downtown Development Association. And our focus is really going to be around really three things: really economic development. And that focus is really around drawing commercial into Rolesville. We also want to focus on beautification, keeping that at the forefront, because I think it's important that you intentionally develop your downtown in and around that area to create that sense of place. And we'll be doing a lot of marketing and relationship building with developers. So that's going to be kind of our central focus. We have a board of 7 people. We're also creating, like I said earlier, subcommittees that will be focused on specific areas. Obviously, we're partnering with the town, but it really is to be that driver for our downtown in and around that area. And then just work with our partners in the town to grow Rolesville responsibly. So I'm excited. This has been a passion of mine. I think since I came on the board, I had a little Citizens Economic Committee early on, and it still continues to be because I care about the community I live in. So I'm committed. I'm here. As long as I'm here, I'm going to do what's best for Rolesville. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you. Good job. I think the future is very bright. So, we're just going to get better and better. And it takes everybody working together. One person can't do it. It takes everybody.
No.
A lot of volunteers to make it happen. And yes. Tony, I know we're running out of time. Only a few minutes left, but we don't have time to do the lightning round. We was going to do a lightning round. And let me just throw one thing out there, and somebody jump in with the first thing come to your mind. Pine Glow.
Potential. Opportunity.
Glow on Main.
Yeah.
I think it's coming.
I think it has a lot of potential, and I really hope the person that's kind of working on that really turns it into something great, because it does have a lot of potential. Can really be something good, and you see a lot of these towns taking these old buildings and making really nice things out of them.
Yes,
so it is a lot of potential there. So thank you. This has been a good show. So thank you guys very much for and y'all stay on. We don't have much time, and we're going to wrap this thing up. And but really, any closing comments from any of the panelists tonight? And
I know you.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I know you might be talking about some upcoming events and activities. The town is going to host an open house on January 23rd. To talk about the Main Street project, provide updates. And we've also invited representatives from Cobblestone and Walbrook to speak about their projects. So that's going to be kind of come and go as you please. I think it's open for a couple hours during the day and then a couple hours in the evening. on January 23rd, and that'll be here at Town Hall. So,
Yeah, wonder, Michael, is the guy from Pine Grove been invited? Do you know?
he has not. We were going to focus on the two big projects, but that could be something we can.
I think a lot of people ask questions about that. So
Okay.
I'm not sure if he's ready to attend anything or not, but if he would like to, that would be good, I think.
Okay. Yep.
I think it would be good.
That's a good idea.
So really appreciate it. Anything else?
I was going to add the Downtown Development Association will also be doing kind of an open house, if you will. I'm just steal that. January 30th, just a week later, where we're going to invite citizens and we will have developers there as well. We'll be hosting that at the town. So just to do an introductory meeting, and we'll be recruiting for our subcommittees. So more to come on that. We'll be soon sending out a save the date for that. I'm excited about that.
Great. Exciting time. I'm looking forward to 24. Been some challenges in 23, and there's challenges every year. So,
Sure.
Not to think it's not going to be any challenges in 24, it certainly will. But I think when we have this show next year, it's going to be really different, and a lot of progress is going to be made. So, really looking forward to 24 for sure. So, Tony, I think we need to wrap this up, or we're going to run out of time. It's a lot of things going on, as you know, and what's anything the chamber has finishing the year out with?
So a couple of events that we have coming up, and this is not just the chamber; it's chamber and town events. The first thing that's coming up, our Shop with the Cop is coming up soon. If you are looking to make any donations to that, Shop with the Cop is an initiative where our local police department takes underprivileged kids to shop for the holidays. So they have asked if you wanted to donate financially, that you have the ability to do so through December 8th, which is tomorrow. And I think they do their shop on the 12th. I can't remember the date. Don't make me give you false information. So that's one thing that's coming up. Shop with the Cop. It's a great event. And then, of course, Breakfast with Santa, which we mentioned before, is coming up this Saturday from 8 to 11. It's at the Masonic Lodge. If you want more information on that or any other the Rolesville Chamber events, please visit our Facebook or our website. The town, I think, has helped out with this with the holiday ham giveaway. I saw some really cute videos on the town site with them doing a little shopping for this event. This is going to happen on December 16th. And for those of you that are interested in picking up some of the free ham and non-perishable goods, it will be first come, first served. One giveaway per car, and it's going to happen at Rolesville Elementary. And you're just going to pull up to that carpool lane. And then we have Coffee with the Veteran. We're going to round out the year on December the 16th again with this. If you want any more information on this, reach out to Jerry Mangum, and his email is below. And then this is something that's coming up next year. This is just a little tickler. We're going to have our women's leadership brunch. This is one of the dates that we have set in stone. So again, I'm able to put that out there right now because we know that this is actually March 9th and not March 8th. So actually that date is incorrect as I'm looking at it. It's actually Saturday, March 9th. And it's going to be again at New Bethel. And I think that is the only other event I have. I did want to let you guys know some changes that have. One of the things that I mentioned, I said I would mention about the chamber is our new board. We did elect our new board members. And so I am going to be the first to share this information with our community.
Awesome.
Ken Adrian of Granite Falls Swimming Athletic Club was reelected for the board of directors. And then Valerie Grasso. If you know Coach Val, she is amazing. She owns Coach Val's Endurance Coaching and Personal Training. And then we have Melissa Elliott of Elliott Real Estate Pros. These are our new board members. Remember, I mentioned before that we have some wonderful changes that's coming from the chamber. You're going to see us a little more active. You'll see us doing a lot more things to get involved with our community, even more than what we have in the past. And so, yeah, those are the things we got going on.
That's
well,
awesome.
You have certainly been active. So you said a little more active.
little more
I
active.
don't know, you've certainly been active. So
Yeah.
y'all done a great job. And when did Rachel leave? 6 months ago, 7
Rachel
months?
left her the beginning of February. So
It's been a long time. Yeah, that's
beginning of
That's
February.
8 months.
Right
That's
around February is when she
that's
left. I
about
want
8
to say
months,
beginning of
8, 9
February.
months.
So yeah.
So y'all done a great job, filling in the gaps and getting things done. And really, really, sometimes I say economic development is really the lifeblood of the town. It really is. If you didn't have economic development going on, you would die. So it's really, and I think the chamber is one of the main organs of that bloodstream. It may be the heart, so
Right.
maybe the one that keeps things pumping. And you guys do a great job of that. And for our size of town, and as Sheilah says a lot of times, we only have 8%, 8% commercial ratio, which is very, very low. So we don't have much businesses, and you guys, for what we have, do a great job.
Well, thank you. We're excited. I'm just listening to some of the initiatives, like the new association that you guys have coming, the Downtown Association. Just to know, just in my mind, just thinking of some of the connections that we could make and some of the partnerships that we can form together. Just trying to get things to help with the economic development in our area. Because when I think, and you mentioned this before, but when we increase business in the area, that not only increases business for the new business, but it also increases business for the existing businesses.
Right.
As the chamber, if we can help with, bringing in new business as well, we also help. And that's another benefit to the businesses that are already in the area. So definitely want to just make sure that we are utilizing all our streams to make sure that we can make our community, our business community, as well as our local community even better. Because of course, I look at all of the business coming in is a way to keep me in Rolesville. I don't have to go and travel to all these other places to get a meal, to go to, whatever it is I want. I can stay local. And so I can stay local, my funds stay local, I can build this community, just because we have those businesses in the area.
Right. Certainly good. But I want to thank the chamber. Lastly, thank the chamber for hosting the show this past year. Y'all done that. I think we the first show we did was September of 2021. So we've done quite a few of them, and couldn't do it without the chamber's help. And just appreciate that. And thank the chamber for renewing for a new season.
Season 3.
That was all contingent of you being reelected. We was like,
so it worked out on my side, and I want to thank the chamber for being ready for that. So we kick off the first show January 11th.
Yep.
And the first, I guess I call it the season. It's the first 6 shows of the year. We're going to have January. We're going to have Coach Yvette Williams, which is a new athletic director at Rolesville High School. And also Sean Powers. Most people don't know much about the Raleigh Moose Center, which is down here, almost in Rolesville, down here at Forestville. They do a lot of things for the community, so we're going to talk about them a little bit. February show will be Black History Month show. Tony DeRico, which is president of the Wendell-Wake County branch of the NAACP, will be on, and Sigma Zillick, which some of you guys know her. She's an icon around town, and she's going to be here talking about some organizations she's been involved in over the last many years. So excited about the February show. March show, Alicia Kozak, which is she has the Alicia Project and Alicia Law going on. Jim Lindsay, Sheilah, you may remember him. He's has the Arden Senior Living Center coming in. You remember that? So we're very excited about that, and we're going to talk about that a little bit, learn a little bit about it, give heads up to the seniors. Chamber night is April show. Tricia Baker Lowe is going to be on, and also we just talked about Coach Val. She's going to be on that night.
Awesome.
The May show will be our Older Americans Month show, senior citizen show, another way you can put it. Carla Watt Payne, which is owner of Age and Care Matters, will be on there. And also one of our new elected officials, Michael Paul, which is a liaison to senior citizens, is going to be on that show talking about what he envisions that he's going to be able to accomplish in his new role as senior citizens liaison for the town. And then we're going to wrap up June show with Juneteenth. Alonda Taylor, which is a new attorney here in town. Some of y'all may have met her. She's not been in town very long as attorney. And I think she works out of the chamber, don't she?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, she works in the chamber's office.
Yeah, that's right. So she's going to be on talking about what it means to her. And also Shannon Hardy, and Sheilah, you know Shannon.
Yeah.
She's with the Wake County Community Remembrance Coalition. She's going to be on the June show because we hope to do the unveiling of a marker on June on the June timeframe, Juneteenth timeframe, and we're going to hopefully be able to talk about that if things go well and if that's going to take place. So. Wow. I mean, just going through that list, it's a lot of great guests coming on in the first half of the year, and very excited about it. Very excited about 24. Couldn't be no more excited, I don't think.
And you mentioned some of the changes that was going to happen with the show. You hadn't mentioned it, but even just be on the lookout for some improvement. I mean, it's great. The show is great, but it's going to be some other things that I think the community will enjoy as it comes to what's happening in Rolesville live show. So
well, I really appreciate you producing the last, I guess, 8 months, really.
Since February, I've been behind the scenes. Nobody didn't see me. I was the little fairy in the back.
Yeah.
Oh, great job, Tony.
I really appreciate you producing and did a great job. And well, maybe we can up your pay and you can produce next year or something.
You're gonna multiply 0 by.
Yeah. Really, you've done a great job. Appreciate that, and if we can't find anybody else, I guess we'll have to keep going. But we'll work that out as we go along. But really want to thank Tony. You've done a great job and appreciate all that.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it.
Michael, Sheilah, anything?
I just want to say Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everyone. Enjoy your time with your family and friends. Take a moment for you. Restoration for everybody.
Right.
That's right.
And have a safe and happy holiday.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, and a lot of this stuff we talk about is very important. It's really, exciting and all, but the main thing is health and family.
Yes.
And those are the main things. And just have a health, safe holiday. Spend time with your family. You can't spend enough time with your family. So I'm gonna put that message out there for everybody. Take time off, smell the roses during this holiday season, and spend a lot of time with your family.
Absolutely.
So happy holidays, everybody.
Thanks
everybody for joining, and see you again in 24 for sure.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah,
You all have a great night. Bye, everyone.